Although often thought of as a hobby, the amateur service provides an environment that encourages the development and advancement of skills in communication and communications technology. In addition, it promotes and encourages an available pool of trained operators, technicians, and electronics experts within the amateur radio community.
E7 Charlie Zulu Victor, this is VA7 DRW.
This is Victor Echo 7 Charlie.
Amateur radio operators, or hams as they often call themselves, are a group of federally licensed individuals who share a common interest in radio communication. The common impression is that amateur radio is an old, outdated activity from days gone by. Many people have images of some old fellow sitting in a cluttered and dark corner of a room in front of a glowing radio, listening to Morse code sent from some distant land. Yes, amateur radio operators still use Morse code as part of their hobby, but it is only one of many modes of operation that they have at their disposal to ensure communications are successful, locally or worldwide. It is this familiarity with communications and their versatility that makes amateur radio operators an asset during an emergency. Amateur radio has been an important communications medium worldwide for almost 100 years, and hams continue to provide emergency communications on a voluntary basis, hence the amateur tag. The technological advancements in amateur radio provide capacity for transmitting large amounts of information quickly and independently of established commercial services. Amateur radio is reliable because it is not centralized. An operator can set up almost anywhere. Surrey is a city of over 400,000 residents who will benefit from the use of amateur radio communications in an emergency. As well, SEPAR maintains links to neighbouring municipalities, providing for greater public safety in a widespread disaster. The acronym SEPAR stands for Surrey Emergency Programme Amateur Radio, a component of the City of Surrey's emergency program. All members are screened by the RCMP and the Surrey Emergency Program.
Today's assignment for this exercise.
It is important to note that SEPAR is not a club, but a community service organization, whose mandate is to provide ancillary communication services in times of emergency. The group meets for business meetings at least quarterly and at least twice monthly for training. Members participate in weekly traffic nets to practice formal messaging and use of radios.
CPAR program plays an integral part in communications during any major event for the city. They train extensively and they operate a communications room out of our #1 fire hall here, which is also houses our emergency operations center for the city of Surrey. So they play a very important role in keeping the operations center up and running during a major event as far as communications go and providing enhanced life safety for the citizens of Surrey.
SEPAR has a program involving the Surrey School District and libraries. Several half-day workshops have been presented, and more are scheduled to bring awareness of emergency preparedness and the role of communications and amateur radio to students and adults alike.
SEPAR has been in existence since 1994 and was granted society status in 2009. SEPAR volunteers regularly provide communications for community events such as CN Days, Canada Day, Hayak Parade, Celebration of Lights, and other community events.
Major disasters and emergencies can strike anywhere, anytime, without warning. Existing means of communication such as telephone, cellular phone, or wireless radio links become overloaded or, worse yet, where critical infrastructure suffers damage, may simply no longer exist. In some circumstances, as in the 2003 BC interior wildfires, amateur radio provided additional communications capability to emergency services and passed health and welfare messages for social service agencies. SEPAR's current project involves the construction and outfitting of a communications trailer that can assist the Surrey Fire Service, the RCMP, BC Ambulance, or any government agency that requires emergency communications.
The trailer is already available for response. However, it is not yet completed. When completed, the trailer will be able to provide a high level of emergency communications in voice, digital, internet, and even telephone service. We already do this every year in June when we participate for 24 hours with many other stations across North America in an event called Field Day, using emergency power and operating without commercial systems.
Communications is a crucial part of the Surrey Emergency Program. The support provided by these volunteers has been recognized by Council for the past 5 years through Civic Proclamation of Amateur Radio Week in June.
SEPAR trailer.
SEPAR trailer, this is EOC. Stand by to talk to Incident Commander.
Amateur radio is an exciting hobby. With a basic license and a minimal investment in equipment, you can communicate across town or around the world. Maybe even with an astronaut aboard the International Space Station. Yes, they use amateur radio as well, for recreation and as a backup in case their systems fail.
This is November Alpha 1 Sierra Sierra, the International Space Station, over.
Amateur radio today uses not only radio, but computers and networks, and new technologies are constantly under development.
Amateur radio operators donate hundreds of hours of volunteer time annually in the City of Surrey to ensure we are prepared should the need for additional communications arise. Thank you, CPAR and CPAR volunteers, for being an important support in ensuring public safety for the residents of Surrey.
For more information, contact your local amateur radio club or call us.